So we're going to get started. I know there's still a few people who we are waiting to have join us, but I want to be respectful of the fact that all of you are here. And so let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 18th presentation of the Peter Jennings Laurel Award Scholarships. My name is Stacey Evans, and I am going to be the MC for today's program. Today, we are honoring the hard work and determination of 10 students who are graduates of CUNY's Adult Literacy High School Equivalency program and who are now working toward their academic goals at various CUNY colleges. The Adult Literacy programs funded by the New York State Education Department and the Mayor's Office of the City of New York have been operating at 14 CUNY campuses for close to 40 years. They provide access for thousands of New Yorkers looking to earn a high school credential and improve their lives. Today's award recipients are shining examples of grit, dedication, and human spirit. They've moved on from earning their HSE diplomas and are now working to complete their college degrees at the City University of New York. The lives of adult students are always complicated, filled with the responsibilities of work and childcare in addition to their studies. For the past year, as we all have, students have needed to adapt to a new world: remote work or essential work, remote classes for themselves, homeschooling for their children, and separation from loved ones created by the COVID-19 pandemic. Through it all, these students have remained focused on earning a college degree, knowing that a degree is the path to a better future for themselves and their families. I want today's award winners to know how much we admire you. Your instructors, your advisors, your family members, your learning community, we all admire you and your commitment to achieving your goals. Our ceremony today is named for a preeminent award-winning journalist and anchor of ABC's World News Tonight, Peter Jennings, who died in 2005 at the age of 67. Mr. Jennings rose to international success as a journalist, covering breaking news stories locally and around the world. His professionalism and integrity are a lasting inspiration to us all. The list of awards and honors bestowed on Mr. Jennings is long, but what many people did not know is that Mr. Jennings himself did not complete high school. He often spoke about the value of education and took great pleasure in connecting with students who, like himself, weren't able to earn their high school credential the first time around. When I learned about Mr. Jennings' history, his story felt personal. Many members of my family struggled to achieve their educational goals. Neither my father nor my brother finished high school. My mother completed high school but had to leave college after her first year because she couldn't afford to continue. She was able to return years later, earning her bachelor's degree the same year I earned mine. My sister faced bullying and violence that drove her out of high school before her senior year. She was lucky though. She found an alternative program that helped her earn her high school diploma and enroll in college. Just in my immediate family, the importance of programs like CUNY's Adult Literacy High School Equivalency program is clear. And that struggle to achieve educational goals is a struggle that is common, one that is shared by thousands of New Yorkers. My family story is the primary reason I began to work in adult literacy programs. And that brought me here to CUNY, where I can contribute to the programming and support CUNY's high quality programs that offer thousands of adult learners a chance to achieve their educational goals every year. I would like to give a special acknowledgement and thanks to the teams that make up the CUNY Adult Literacy HSE programs: campus program directors, counselors, case managers, and of course, our amazing teachers. They are all wonderful, gifted educators with decades of experience and expertise in supporting student success by creating a learning environment that allows students to flourish. I extend that same acknowledgement and thanks to our team of professional development specialists in the central office and our administrative support team: Eric Appleton, Ellen Baxt, Kate Brandt, Moira Taylor, Mark Truskowski, and Arnita McKinley, Joan Stern, and Ramon Tercero. You all do so much to create and maintain excellent practice in high school equivalency preparation here in the city and across New York State. And you have met the challenges of remote learning like the skilled professionals you are. I'd like to give special recognition and thanks to Ramon Tercero, who is the manager of the Peter Jennings Scholarship Program. And we are especially grateful to Peter Jennings' wife, renowned television journalist and reporter, Kayce Freed Jennings, for continuing her husband's legacy by her presence and participation at today's ceremony, and for her contribution through the Peter Jennings Foundation in support of the Scholarship Fund. Now, in keeping with tradition, we have a very special program for you today, and our first speaker is Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Donna Linderman. Donna Linderman's portfolio includes a broad array of CUNY-wide programs designed to support the academic preparation and degree success of students. Her programs include Accelerated Study and Associate Programs, ASAP, a nationally recognized associate degree completion program currently serving 25,000 students across 9 CUNY colleges and being replicated in 5 states. Accelerate, Complete, and Engage, ACE, CUNY Start, Math Start, CUNY Educate, Develop, Graduate, and Empower, EDGE, CUNY Literacy and Language Programs, and the Fostering College Success Initiative, FCSI. In addition, ABC Linderman also oversees the Office of Research, Evaluation, and Program Support, REPS, and the Data Management and Analytics Unit, DMA, and co-leads several CUNY-wide initiatives on behalf of CUNY OAA, focused on academic momentum and developmental education reform. She was formerly the University Dean for Student Success Initiatives, ASAP Executive Director, also for CUNY OAA, University Director for the CUNY Middle Grades Initiative, Gear Up program, served as an assistant professor of theater and education at Brooklyn College, and has also taught at Lehman College. She holds a BFA in drama from the University of Southern California, an MFA in theater from Brooklyn College, and is currently a doctoral candidate in higher education administration at Northeastern University. Please welcome Associate Vice Chancellor Donna Linderman.
Thank you so much, Stacy. I think I need to condense my bio. That's too long. But thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here. I'm so happy to be here today to celebrate the achievements of 10 special students who earned their high school equivalency diplomas through our CUNY Adult Literacy HSE program, and who have persevered this year at CUNY. And of course, I want to give special thanks, adding to Stacy's kind words, to Kayce Freed Jennings for her incredible long-standing support and interest in our HSE programs, the lives of our students, and her continued presence at this ceremony over the past 18 years. The CUNY Adult Literacy Program has been in operation since the 1980s, and it has helped thousands, hundreds of thousands of students improve their reading, writing, and math skills, learn English, and like our Peter Jennings scholars honored today on the stage, earn their high school equivalency diplomas and move on to higher education, training, and better jobs. CUNY Adult Literacy has expanded greatly over its many years, and it served as a foundation for a range of educational models throughout the university and the city, some of which have become nationally recognized models. These include our CUNY Language Immersion Program, CLIP, and CUNY START, which together enroll more than 9,000 students a year. And last year, some of our literacy program practitioners created new We Speak NYC videos to teach New York City English language learners about the census. The We Speak team is also currently working on a new episode about ranked choice voting, and that will help ensure that more New Yorkers are counted in that process. Additionally, and this is something that I really want to give heartfelt thanks for, last year our entire adult literacy team and all of our programs faced the challenge of transitioning quickly to remote instruction when the COVID-19 pandemic closed all of our in-person classes at CUNY. And the central office team that Stacy just acknowledged and all of our campus teams worked together to effectively pivot our instruction to remote delivery, our advisement, all of our program services. And these teams have continued to work together tirelessly throughout the pandemic to ensure that the students' needs, all of our students' needs are met. And importantly, that the instruction that they receive is of the highest quality that CUNY's adult literacy program is known for. So I want to give a special shout out to all of them. This has been a very challenging undertaking, and the continued strength of our programs during the pandemic has really been a remarkable accomplishment. I'd just like to take a couple of minutes to share with you what we know about our Jennings scholars to date, because it's remarkable. Since 2003, 162 students have received a Jennings Award and entered CUNY. So that's 96% of our scholarship winners. The vast majority, 68% of our award winners were over the age of 25 at the point of matriculation into a degree program, and 6 of our winners began their college journey at 55 or older. So it's never too late to continue your education journey. 76 students have earned at least 1 college degree, and 4 have completed a master's degree at CUNY. Currently, there are 50 students still enrolled at CUNY, and they have an average GPA of 3.24. These achievements are incredibly significant. All of the winners are students who had to leave high school before completion, and they all persevered, not only in their high school equivalency studies and exams, but also in their college degree pursuits. A second chance is a very, very good thing to give people, and our scholarship winners have proven that over and over again. A scholarship and special recognition can really go a long way to encourage students to do their best. At the same time, the support and encouragement from the teachers, from the counselors, from our HSE program managers, and the college advisement and student success program staff and CUNY faculty is also incredibly invaluable. So it really does take a village, and CUNY is very fortunate to have an amazing one circle around these wonderful students. So finally, just let me conclude briefly by addressing a few words directly to the Peter Jennings Laurel Award Scholarship winners, for they're the reason that we're here today. You are all my heroes. You set goals for yourselves to get an education, prepared yourselves for better futures by earning a high school equivalency diploma, even with many obstacles in your way. Whether you had to work 2 or 3 jobs, be a parent, learn English, and then learn all the topics on the test, or maybe all of these factors at the same time, you persevered and you met these challenges beautifully. Earning an HSE diploma is not an easy thing to do. Anyone who thinks otherwise should just take a look at the preparation materials, serious math, composition writing, history, civics, sciences. And those of you who have started classes at CUNY, you already know that college isn't easy. So I know how hard you work at your studies and admire you so much for your accomplishments. I urge you, please don't be satisfied until you have earned your college degrees. You have all demonstrated how capable you are of reaching up and taking that goal and it belonging to you. So please reach out to your professors, your counselors, prior Peter Jennings winners, and to each other for support. Do whatever it takes to study as much as you can, complete your coursework, and graduate. And please know that we are all here to support you along the way. You've been fortunate to have had excellent HSE preparation in our programs. Several of you have also transitioned into our support and success programs on the degree side, whether it's CUNY Start on the Way in the Door or ASAP and CD-SEEK. These programs and the amazing staff in these programs are here to help you achieve your goals of getting to the graduation finish line, and we all know you can do it. So I congratulate each and every one of you. I wish you every success in college and beyond. And please know that you are always welcome back with open arms to future Peter Jennings Scholarship events, so to provide inspiration and support to the next group of winners. The Peter Jennings Scholarship Award is such an outstanding way to ensure that our wonderful students, like the ones we're honoring here today, can afford to pay for their education and realize their goals. So we're so grateful for the continued support of the Peter Jennings Foundation for our students. And I'll turn things back over to you, Stacy, to continue the event. Thank you so much.
It'd be good if I turned off my mute. Thank you, Donna. Now we come to the heart of today's ceremony, our keynote speaker and the acknowledgement of the students receiving the first ever Peter Jennings Laurel Award continuation scholarships. If we were celebrating in person, we would be calling each student up to the stage to accept their award certificates. Because we have gathered on Zoom, that's not possible, of course. Instead, we have asked the scholarship winners to tell us a little bit about what this past year has been like for them. Each student will be presented by our next speaker and then share their own words. Our next speaker has a very special connection to today's ceremony. Kayce Freed Jennings is Senior Advisor at Girl Rising and Director of the Girl Rising U.S. Educator Program. Previously, Kayce was a producer for ABC News based in London, Atlanta, and New York. She covered international and national news events for virtually every news division broadcast and worked with all the major anchors, including Peter Jennings, Ted Koppel, Diane Sawyer, Charles Gibson, and Barbara Walters. She serves as co-chair of the board of WIN, an agency that serves homeless families, and sits on the advisory boards of SOLA, School of Leadership Afghanistan, and the Bridgehampton Child Care Center. To our CUNY High School Equivalency program, she is a great friend, and we are delighted to have her with us every year for this ceremony. Please welcome Kayce Freed Jennings.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Stacy and Donna and Ramon, as always. You guys just do amazing work there, and I remain awed by what you all do. I'm so happy to be here again, even if we are virtual, and I look forward to next year, though, when with a little luck, a little smarts, and maybe a few more vaccinations, we'll be meeting in person. Most of you know this because I'm a little bit like a broken record. I just love this day. Even through cyberspace, it is one of the very, very best days of my year. And that's because of you all, the scholars. You symbolize what's right with our world. You're what makes our city, our country, and this big, messy planet we all live on so much better. Your resolve, your commitment, your determination, and your mind-blowing resilience. So thank you for that. Thank you, because in this most unsettling, disoriented, and yes, frightening time, you help us see hope and to feel hope. And that's just so important. And that's what I see and feel when I look at the checkerboard in front of me of the scholars' faces and all the hope that you represent. What a time it is we live in. It was hard for everyone, but it was so much harder for some than for others. During these arduous months, existing hurdles grew higher, bad luck became worse, what was difficult became extremely difficult, and what was unthinkable often became commonplace. And for students everywhere, it was an especially stressful year, but so much more stressful for some than others still. Financial pressures, the life and death impact of COVID on families, the complexity of online learning. It's been really, really rough to stay so focused and to stay in school. In fact, all over the world, boys and girls, men and women have been forced to leave school, and too many of them will never return. So the hope that you represent by being here and by doggedly persisting, well, it means everything. The skills, the talent, and the heart that you contribute are making us a better city and a better country. You also represent to me the upside of this troubling year. And yes, there is an upside. The grit we've seen, the ingenuity and the reinvention, the very best of us, all the people who didn't and haven't given up and who won't give up. Which brings us to the reason we're here, the Peter Jennings Scholarship Continuation Award. As you all know, this is a little adjustment from previous years when we presented scholarships to students just launching their college experience. But we think this is a really important and a valuable evolution because we know that the burdens of an education, both the actual education, educational costs, and the associated costs don't end after a single year. And we know those costs can sometimes make it impossible for even the most dedicated students to remain in school. And in this COVID year, well, those pressures are just magnified more. So we felt it was really important that we offer the additional support to the Peter Jennings Scholars to help you continue and we hope complete your educations, to make it possible for you to get where you want to go. Our idea is that the Continuation Award will remain a part of this program as we move forward in the years to come. Those of you who were here in 2019 have heard me talk about my husband, Peter, whose name, as you know, is on the scholarship. But for those who haven't, I want you to know how meaningful this would be to him. This year, maybe even more than others. Peter was an avid and he was an endless learner all his life. But as a student, mostly he chased girls and got in trouble. And as you've heard, he dropped out of school before graduating from high school. He wound up anyway with a great job as a reporter and anchor that sated his boundless curiosity, allowed him to travel the world on someone else's dime, as he often pointed out, and it gave him enormous joy and supported him well. But he always knew just how lucky he was that it turned out that way. And he tried to make up for his lack of a formal education by soaking up knowledge wherever he found it. It's been written that he got a GED or a high school diploma, but he didn't. Every one of you has gotten further in school than he did. And so if he were here today, Peter would be humbled as I am, moved by the fierce and admirable drive that's propelled you past adversity and by the conviction that dreams are attainable if you work hard enough. By doing what you're doing, you're creating change. Change for yourselves, for your family, for your community. You're changing the future. So please keep at it. And now I have the great privilege of presenting the Peter Jennings Scholarship Continuation Awards. Hold on one second, I just lost my notes there for a moment. There we go. Okay, starting with AZIZA ABDUR-RAZZAQ. Hi, AZIZA, it's nice to see you again. AZIZA grew up in Brooklyn, where she and her siblings were homeschooled by their mother. When she realized that an HSE diploma could be a path to college, she enrolled at Brooklyn College's Adult Learning Center. Her teacher noticed that while AZIZA was academically well prepared, she was also quiet and guarded. But, her teacher says, only a month later, I saw her luminous smile and felt thrilled that the class had become a welcoming place for her. AZIZA put it this way: I vividly remember how kind and helpful everyone was. There was a sense of camaraderie. The positive environment had an enormous impact on my belief in my ability. When not studying, AZIZA volunteered at an animal shelter, watching, she says, as dogs transform from feeble to healthy under the care of the veterinary staff. In fact, that wasn't unlike the transformation AZIZA was feeling herself. She now attends Brooklyn College and is majoring in childhood education. AZIZA, I just want to remind you of one thing. When you were originally nominated for the scholarship in 2019, your nominator called you brilliant and a shiny gem. She said that you were destined for great things. It seems that you are.
My name is AZIZA ABDUR-RAZZAQ. I am currently attending Brooklyn College and pursuing a degree in childhood education. One of the obstacles I struggled with while learning remotely because of the pandemic was paying attention. Without having a structured classroom environment and a professor to hold me accountable to ensure that I was paying attention during class, I found myself easily distracted by my environment. I would often be tempted to scroll on my phone or engage in conversations with my siblings rather than focusing on my classwork. In order to combat this, I tried to find more quiet places to take my classes and study, as well as leave my phone in another room so I wouldn't be tempted to check it while I was in class.
Thank you, AZIZA. Next, AHANEKU. Powell, we haven't met before, but it's very nice to meet you now, and I look forward to a time when we will in person. When Powell immigrated to the US from Nigeria, his high school diploma wasn't accepted here, and so he wasn't able to begin college along with his peers and siblings. It was an understandable blow to his confidence, and his struggles with math in the high school equivalency class at Medgar Evers College only added to his despondency. In response to the pressures to get a diploma quickly, Powell says, I did not move at my own pace, but at the speed my family members and social peers expected of me. Another setback occurred when he failed reading by just a single point. Because I failed to satisfy everyone's expectations, he wrote, I almost gave up on what I had worked so hard for. Powell felt crushed and questioned whether he was worthy of going to college. His teachers and counselors saw differently, observing that he excelled in social studies, where his ability to synthesize information from a cultural and historic perspective was refreshing. Powell persisted, passed the task, and is now majoring in financial economics at Medgar Evers. Just so you know what kind of man Powell is, he also has returned to his HSC program as a mentor, where in the words of his teacher, he shares his triumphs and challenges with current students so they can see their own futures in his current success.
Hello, my name is POWELL AHANEKU. I am a junior at Medgar Evers College. I'm entering my 5th semester. I study financial economics, and I would say one of the challenges that I've had during the online module has been communication with others. I lack communication. Being a social person, I really need communication and a social atmosphere. Another thing that was also a problem to me was tutoring. Hence, there was no social atmosphere. Tutoring had to be conducted online, and it sort of was a problem for me because I sort of like that in-person interactions because it helps me study more. Another problem I would say I faced was getting my own schedule, but because I no longer had to go to class again. But I pretty much conquered all these things after time, and tutoring has been going smoothly over Zoom. I've adapted to online modules faster, and I really appreciate the experience, and I'm glad to go back to in-person classes.
Tamisha Bird is unable to be with us here today, but I hope she'll have the opportunity to see a recording and know how she was honored here this afternoon. Growing up in Brooklyn, Tamisha Bird didn't think that education was important as working and making money. So in the 11th grade, she left school. But when she had a son, she says, my whole perception of life changed. I realized I needed to become a better person for myself as well as for him. So Tamisha enrolled in an HSC class at the Adult Learning Center at Medgar Evers College, where her teacher noticed her keen interest in social studies and English, and also her kindness towards her classmates. Her teacher recalls Tamisha would take time after class to assist classmates in concepts that were challenging as she reinforced her own understanding of the subjects. Her teacher also praised Tamisha's work ethic. Even when the going got tough, algebra and science, Tamisha pushed on, spending hours outside of class studying and watching math videos on YouTube. I didn't ease up on myself, Tamisha says. She passed the task on her second try and is now enrolled at Medgar Evers, majoring in biology with plans to become a neonatal nurse. In her words, attending Medgar Evers College shows me the importance of my culture and the people who paved the way for students of color to obtain a college degree. Being in college has opened my eyes to many things I did not take note of. TENZIN CHOKLANG. Hi again, TENZIN. TENZIN was born in a Tibetan community in southern India, but his family was forced to flee their home when he was a young child. He then spent several years in a refugee camp until the family was reunited when TENZIN was 12. It took a while to adapt, but soon enough, TENZIN began to enjoy life in our city. He describes himself as always up for anything and enjoying the ride. But as he matured, he said he learned to resist temptations and distractions and focus on his future. TENZIN enrolled in an HSC class in the Adult Basic Skills program at LaGuardia Community Colleges, where his teacher was struck by his openness to any math challenge, as well as his leadership skills. In fact, while in the program, TENZIN organized a study group that met on weekends. Many students sought him out for help and guidance in solving difficult math equations, his teacher wrote. On the first attempt, TENZIN passed all but the reading sections of the test. Undeterred, he kept studying, and he passed. He graduated from LaGuardia Community College with an AS in computer science, and he's now pursuing a bachelor's degree in computer science at City College in New York.
Hello, my name is TENZIN CHOKLANG, and I currently attend CCNY City College of New York. I'm majoring in computer science. The hardest part of being able to continue my education during this pandemic is being more self-disciplined. As you're always home and no one's watching, you seem to be more careless. The way I have overcome that is by setting up daily goals, having a better schedule, and putting myself into the right mindset, and mainly avoid procrastinating. Thank you.
And thank you. Jennifer Manu. Hi there, Jennifer. It's great to see you again as well. Do you remember back in 2019, your nominator said you had the potential to be exceptional? I've never forgotten that, the potential to be exceptional. Just let that hang for just a minute. Jennifer grew up in Ghana. Her family immigrated to the US when she was 19. When she worked long hours as a home health aide, she dreamed of being a nurse. I felt a deep yearning, she says, and thought if only I could go to college to study nursing, I could help a lot of people. Jennifer enrolled in the HSC program at the College of Staten Island, impressing all with her determination and community spirit. Her teacher called her the glue holding everyone in the class together. And she'd collect handouts. She'd share class notes, call absent classmates to brief them on what they'd missed. According to the program director, Jennifer draws everyone into the circle of support and encouragement. Jennifer was forced to leave the program for medical reasons before she'd passed the math section of the task, but she returned the following semester and she conquered it. After she earned her diploma, the HSE program director phoned her to see if she was interested in college. I jumped out of my chair and shouted a big yes, she said. Jennifer attends College of Staten Island, majoring in medical technology. Her plan is to become an ultrasound technician.
Hello, my name is Jennifer MANU, 2019 scholarship recipient, currently at the College of Staten Island and majoring in medical technology. Online homework was my greatest challenge during my first year at college. So I sought help at the Learning Center on campus, and I gradually mastered it. Learning remotely during the pandemic was too strenuous, especially labs. So I took the 2021 spring semester off. It is my hope that in-person classes resumes this fall so I can continue my education. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to further my studies.
And thank you, Joshua ORTIZ. Joshua, it's nice to meet you, even if only virtually, and hopefully, like some of the others, we'll get a chance to meet in person one day soon. Growing up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, Joshua ORTIZ was frequently the target of bullying and abuse because he has autism, ADHD, and Asperger's. Every day, writes Joshua, I was pulverized in the face by a fellow student, shoved into lockers or salivated on, and the constant abuse was responsible for my depression. In middle school, Joshua was placed in special education classes, but in his words, I didn't belong there. So for high school, Joshua's parents sent him to a Christian academy in Puerto Rico, where he had to learn Spanish in order to pass his classes, which he did. He came back home, though, only to discover that his diploma wasn't accredited. To his enormous credit, Joshua stayed focused on his goal of attending college. And for 5.5 months, he diligently attended HSC classes at Hostas Community College. And with relentless study, he passed the task in 2018. He graduated with an AA in liberal arts and science and will attend Lehman College, majoring in psychology. Joshua's objective, he wants to ensure that children and adults with similar cognitive disabilities to his own are engaged socially. As he told us, did not want them to experience the pain and frustration that I encountered. Joshua, on behalf of so many people, thank you.
My name is Joshua ORTIZ. The college and the major that I will attend are Lehman College, a major known as psychology in this Bachelor of Arts. The most challenging part of continuing my college education during the pandemic based on remote learning is the social distancing among friends and faculty during the Zoom meeting. Throughout each Zoom meeting, interacting with friends and faculty is not the same as an in-person course when meeting with them face-to-face. On a similar aspect of social distancing, remote learning creates prolonged isolation that impacts my life through online conversations on social media rather than interpersonal conversations throughout the host campus. By relating to remote learning during the pandemic, digital or visual aids supported my friends and me with faculty members helped by understanding PowerPoint presentations, data, and statistics, and references containing a long list of facts. Overall, remote learning is the most effective process of virtual technology gathered interactively with students and faculty members as a social connection to make discussion, posters, homework assignments, and lecture meetings.
Vanessa Parris. Vanessa, you're new to me too, but what a pleasure also to meet you. When Vanessa Parris came to the US from Guyana, she says it felt to her as if she had to start life all over again. Everything was challenging and difficult, she says. Not just the new country, but there were other formidable obstacles that she had to overcome to reach her goal. As a mother, a worker, and a student, Vanessa often skipped breakfast in the morning, rushing for the subway for work and for her HSE class at LaGuardia Community College. She'd arrive home at 11 p.m. to two daughters who still needed help with their homework. Even in the face of these challenges, Vanessa not only persisted for herself, but also found time to encourage others. Her teacher wrote, Vanessa's enthusiastic spirit rubbed off on every group she worked with, and she was always ready to take on the special projects and help her peers with their studies. After 2 years of hard work, Vanessa passed the task. She's now at LaGuardia, majoring in pre-health science, one more stride towards the finish line, becoming a registered nurse. You won't be surprised to hear that Vanessa also gives back to her HSC program. She's spoken at their college and career event and continues to stop by at the tutoring center when she can to continue to encourage other students.
My name is Vanessa Parris. I am a health science student. I'm attending LaGuardia Community College. The hardest part for me to continue my education is knowing the fact that during the pandemic, I had lost my job. So I was unable to work, and then I still had to pay for classes. However, I was able to get some financial aid, which helped. And with all of that, the class that I'm doing is hybrid classes. So many days I have to teach myself, and most of the time is you in the home with the family, which can be destructive. So in all of that, I was able to remind myself about the goal and things that I wanted to achieve. That is how I continue, and I look forward to my future and to achieve my goal. Thank you.
Hi, Sue-Ann. Great to see you. Sue-Ann Simmons was born in Kingston, Jamaica. When she was 5, her mother left the family to work as a nurse in the US. Sue-Ann was 11 when she joined her mother here. The transition wasn't easy, and in high school, Sue-Ann became pregnant. So she left school and enrolled at York College's Adult Learning Center, where she found a supportive environment and an understanding teacher. Sue-Ann was determined to earn her diploma before giving birth. On her first try, she passed all sections except the math and social studies. The next day, her baby was born. So despite her resolve, it would be 12 years before Sue-Ann returned to York's Adult Learning Center and finished what she had started. Sue-Ann's teacher describes her as a diligent, detail-oriented, and driven student who used every minute of her free time to study. Despite the pressures of raising a family, going through a divorce, and needing public assistance, Sue-Ann stayed focused on both her education and her children. With the help from her caseworker, she found daycare for the 2 youngest, which allowed her more time to study and to finally earn her diploma. Sue-Ann is now majoring in health science at York College, and she plans to follow her mother's footsteps and study nursing. I know it will be challenging, but attainable, she says. My dedication to learning is my strongest asset. I have high expectations for my children, and therefore I must display that to them through my actions and my accomplishments.
Hi everyone, my name is Sue-Ann Simmons. I attend York College. My major is health science. On my path to success, I have faced many challenges. One of my challenges was taking my TASC exam. It was a challenge for me because it was hard for me to not be nervous while taking the exam and staying focused and remember what the teacher was teaching that day. Now that I'm a college student, my major problem that I'm struggling with right now is time management and staying on top of all my assignments. During this pandemic, my biggest struggle right now with the pandemic is using the computer at home. I am not computer savvy. I'm struggling with getting in all my assignments on the computer because I'm an in-person learner. Being at home with 3 children by yourself and being a full-time student is not easy. One of my tricks, what I've came across, is to organize myself on a calendar and using an alarm and sticking to it. So the trick and the key into staying organized and to be able to send in all your assignments on time is to use an alarm. I use an alarm faithfully. I use my calendar. I put everything in the calendar. If it's to put my assignments in for 2 hours, or if it's a study, I use the calendar to organize myself as a student and to organize myself as a mother and as a person, when to have a study time or when to have a break time. Using that calendar, and also by setting small goals that I can manage and maintain. And once I obtain those small goals, I feel fulfilled inside. So one of my things that I'm using right now, which really helps me tremendously, is to use an alarm and to set up a calendar, which really helped me in college right now. So don't get scared, don't get nervous. If you're taking your task exam, just stay positive. Give a positive attitude, self-confidence. Just be confident in whatever you're doing. Practice becomes permanent. Study, be yourself, and, just not be negative. Be positive. Tell yourself you're going to take it. Tell yourself you're going to pass it. And whatever you put out there, it will come right back to you. Just be positive and things will work itself out. So stay safe and God bless.
Well, I just learned a whole lot. I'm gonna borrow some of those techniques and skills. Thank you, Sue-Ann. TAPAN TANCHANGYA. Hi, TAPAN. I don't know if you remember, but back in 2019, I told you how my husband used to speak with awe about the colors of Bangladesh. I still haven't been there, but when I hear the name Bangladesh, I still conjure up the images of the beauty he used to describe so often. TAPAN grew up in a small agricultural village in Bangladesh, the oldest son of farmers. Like other children in his community, he left school in the 8th grade to help his parents work the fields and harvest crops. I remember you telling us, TAPAN, that the nearest high school is 15 kilometers away. In 2015, TAPAN came to the US, helped by the program that supports the Juma indigenous people from the Chittagong region of Bangladesh. It was a painful choice to leave home, but one he hoped would lead to a better life for his family. Arriving in New York, he learned about the Adult Learning Center at New York City College of Technology and enrolled in an HSC class. At first, he was shy and hesitant, but with the support of a teacher and a classroom culture that TAPAN described as a great atmosphere where every student feels comfortable, he began not only asking questions in class, but also explaining concepts to his classmates. He dedicated so much time to improving his English and studying outside of class that his teacher said it would be an understatement to say that TAPAN is a good student and will succeed in college. He has made our community and the Adult Learning Center stronger. He is a student who is bound to enrich our society. TAPAN passed the task after 5 months in the program. He now attends New York City College of Technology and is majoring in construction engineering technology.
Hello everyone, my name is TAPAN TANCHANGYA. I am attending at City College of Technology, one of the school on the CUNY, and my major is construction management. The most challenging for me during the pandemic was, getting used with the time, and it wasn't easy at the beginning because it was the very first time we are being, imposed, lockdown, quarantine, and all this stuff, especially living alone in the New York City and attending the classes at the same time, doing the job as well. But somehow I make a plan myself, depending on the time, certain time I do the homework and do the schools and go to the job. and then still, I was able to manage and complete the semesters. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank Peter Jennings Scholarship Foundations for the opportunity to us, and a special thanks to Mr. Ramon for helping me and also nominating me for this award. Thank you very much.
And finally, KARLA ZELAYA. Hi there, KARLA. KARLA grew up in El Salvador. She dreamed of graduating from high school and attending college, but her parents couldn't afford to keep her in school. She immigrated to the US when she was 19 and worked full-time as a housekeeper while attending English classes in the evening at Kingsborough Community College and Borough of Manhattan Community College. I worked hard to be fluent in English, KARLA says. The experience motivated me to go further in my education. So KARLA enrolled in an HSC class at BMCC. While she describes herself as a very happy mother of 4 children, she also concedes that the responsibilities of her family sometimes make it a little challenging to focus on my dreams. She feels lucky to have had a teacher who understood her challenges and appreciated her commitment. When she passed the task, she learned about CUNY START and spent 2 intense semesters before enrolling in credit classes. KARLA is now at BMCC and majoring in nursing. I want to set a good example about working hard and always dream big, even when things feel and look impossible, she says. I think you've set quite the example, KARLA, and please keep dreaming big.
My name is KARLA ZELAYA. I am a current student at BNCC. My major is in nursing. The hardest part during the pandemic was taking online classes. It was really challenging. I had never taken online classes before, and I felt very nervous, worried that I wasn't going to make it because it was really challenging. Since it was my first semester in the nursing program, I was nervous to not being able to take notes, good notes, and to do the exams since they were going to be online. But thank God I finished and I passed. Also, the other hardest part was being able to help my children with the online classes as well. I have 4 children, and we had a problem with the Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi was really poor, and the signal was really bad, and the kids were upset because they couldn't hear the teacher. Me also, my professors wasn't able to hear clearly. But we fixed the problem, we updated the data, and we were able to manage. My kids are getting used to it, and I got used to it, and I was able to finish my semesters successfully, passing and happy because we overcome our biggest challenge, which was taking online classes at home all at the same time.
Congratulations, all of you. I'm just awed by how you have all adjusted and adapted. And like KARLA, please, all of you, please keep dreaming big. You're powerful examples of what can be. In closing, I just want to come back to the idea of hope, because I believe hope, like education, is about a belief in the future. It's about aspiration, ambition, dreams, a yearning for something more, something better. And those who strive for their educations, those who battle for their educations, can do so because they have hope. Having said that, though, holding on to hope in the face of challenge can be really difficult. So I was struck by something I read recently. I'm not sure even anymore where I saw it or who said it, but it had enough impact on me that I wrote it down and I saved it. Hope, this person said, is the strongest form of bravery. Let that sink in for a moment. Hope is the strongest form of bravery. I'd never before thought of hope as an act of bravery, but it is a profound act of bravery, and most especially when times are hard. So congratulations to all of you. Congratulations for holding on to that hope. You are hope, you are brave, and you are our better future. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Kayce. And thank you, Ramon, for the presentation of student videos. And so our program for this year comes to a close. To all the scholarship winners, congratulations. And we look forward to seeing your continued hard work and success. So what we're going to do now, Ramon, if you can take down the shared screen so we can see everybody in the Brady Bunch checkerboard. We are going to unmute everyone throughout this whole ceremony. You haven't been able to unmute yourself, but we are going to let you all unmute. And I invite everybody to give a big round of applause and cheers and congratulations to all of today's winners. A friend of mine calls this a love shower. So let's shower all of our amazing winners with congratulations. Congratulations, everyone.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, everyone.
Amazing.
Thank you. Congratulations, everyone.
Well done.
So impressed and inspired by all of you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well done.
So thank you all for being here. And I look forward to seeing you perhaps in person someday soon when we are allowed to actually be in the same space together. So that will be wonderful. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.